Welcome, my name is Emma Nesbitt, and I grew up here in this church learning stories just like this one that you're going to hear today. So today, we're talking about parables. Have you ever heard of the word parable before? Well, if you haven't, a parable is a story used to tell a point. Jesus used them a lot to help people understand what he was trying to say. Usually, his parables ended up talking about God's love and his forgiveness for us. So this parable, the parable of the prodigal son, involves a father and his two sons. One son took all of his inheritance and squandered and spent it and ended up working with pigs. He had no money left and he had no idea what to do. So he decided that he was going to go home to his father because the servants there were being paid better and treated better than he would have been anywhere else. So he returns home, and what happens? His father forgives him immediately. He throws this massive party, and he's just so happy to see his son. Isn't that kind of wild? This father just forgave him immediately. So that's a good way to show that God is going to forgive you for everything. God is full of love, and he will always forgive us. But what about the second son? I mentioned that this man had two sons. Well, the second son stayed at home and he worked with his father and he did all of the things that he was supposed to do. And he was a little upset when his brother came back and got this whole party while he was off doing bad things. And then the older son is just there doing the right things. How would you feel if that happened? Because I'm not sure how I would feel about it. His father tells him, the older son, that everything that is the father's is his. He has always been around. He will always be around. And that his younger brother has basically returned from the dead. So that's a reason to celebrate. That's Jesus showing that God knows what you're doing and knows when you're doing the right things and will always celebrate you for it, even if you don't necessarily get the big party like this other brother did. How would you feel if you did something like the younger brother and you were forgiven? Would you feel relieved? Would you feel guilty? How would you feel about that? And then on the other side, would it be hard for you to forgive someone? If they came back to you after doing all of these awful things, how would you feel having to forgive them? Would you be able to? Those are very important questions. Have fun thinking about them. Amen.